That record held now that Hamilton
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Grand Prix podcast. I am Elton, this is Andy.
Hello.
And he is
I'm jet lagged. Fuck.
Yes, exactly, yes. You are.
I literally flew in this morning. My arms aren't tired, but every other part of my body is.
But you flew in, got a cab, got home, watched the race, fell asleep.
Yeah, it really helped with that bit, I tell you.
I'm going to take you to task about that very, very soon, I think.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. Once again, I think it's the situation that you're in, maybe, versus the situation I was in. So
it is true. Did you get free tickets to this race as well?
Unfortunately, no. I don't get them to every race.
Oh, that's just not good enough.
But
really,
I have
is it?
got them to 50% of the last two races.
That's a pretty good return so far. Yeah,
that's better than you.
It's true. In fact, it's 100 times better than me across all seasons.
Good stuff. Right. Okay. So
Although I will just say, a friend of mine was not only at this race, but was on my notebook as well. Haha.
Is he the dude taking the photos?
No.
Ah, okay.
She's one of the presenters on the F1 Live TV.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Lucia, who I know doesn't listen to this, but hi, Lucia.
Yeah.
But yes, she was out in Hungary, and she was on Ted's notebook briefly. So there you go.
Oh man, wicked! I'm gonna have to. What type of notebook was it? Was it straight after the race? That one?
It was the qualifying notebook.
Ah, okay. Okay, because I haven't seen the qualifying notebook. I'm going to set my stall out. I've been rather busy. My family flew away into Spain while I was watching this, and it's been rather
you
busy.
looked up and they were gone. Like, they didn't wait for me.
Yeah, there was a cloud of dust in the shape of my family, and me going, and they were gone. So, which is a shame, but there we go. So yeah, it's been busy around my house, so I haven't had a chance to watch all the sessions yet, or all the sessions. But I've got the gist of most of it anyway. So what I'm going to do, I know that you've been travelling as well this weekend and it's been really busy. So I'm just going to ask for your initial impressions on this race, if you don't mind.
It threatened on several occasions to become really interesting.
Really? Okay. I'm on the other end of the scale with this one.
Really? So you're
it.
putting this up with Azerbaijan and all that, are you?
I am, yes.
Have you suffered some sort of blunt force trauma of late? Did you perhaps see a bubble with a bowling ball floating above your head?
Maybe I need a halo. But yeah,
Oh, nice segue there.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, yeah, let's get on to that. This week's news. Should we go?
Yes.
Or should we give it a warning about swears before that?
I've already sworn at least twice, but
okay,
yeah.
Right, losers, if you don't like swearing and Formula 1 and idiots talking about Formula 1, you better clear off now. There we go.
We can promise you one thing. We don't do terrible Murray Walker impressions.
Oh, when did I do this?
Oh, it wasn't you. It was Lillian Down.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't me, no. Okay, good. That's good. I thought I was worried then. I was worried.
You thought I found your secret tapes?
Yes, which there are many. But anyway, okay. This week's news leading us up to the race. What we got?
Well, the big news was the halo has been mandated for Formula 1 for 2018. So come Australia next year, all of the cars will be sporting a halo. Halo.
This still has to go to the World Council, though, doesn't it?
I don't think it does. I think the FIA have pushed it through on safety grounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they bypassed it. They went on safety grounds and just said, "Screw you, losers."
Yeah. Okay, fair play.
So yes, no, that's the big one.
So I'd imagine there'll be lots of talk about that in the off season. Not this off season, but in between the seasons.
I'm sure when we start getting our first glimpses of the cars and everything, that'll be a big factor. You know, what are they going to look like in the final realization and stuff? And I mean, I still think of all the three concepts we've seen so far, it's the only reason it's the most developed is it was the first one to be tried.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I also feel that, I mean, that it's a bit of a tail wagging the dog. They said this was going to be introduced for 2018 before they'd actually developed anything. And then it was like, oh, we're going to do something for 2018. Oh, shit, we better do something.
Mm.
You know, it's middle management logic. Something must be done. This is something, therefore we must do it.
Yeah. I think give it a couple of seasons, development, and I'm assuming it's going to be a mandatory across the board. Every Halo has to be exactly the same.
I would have thought it will probably be a case of they have to pass a structural test like the chassis does, like the monocoque. But I think after that, their teams will have a certain amount of freedom. But then you're going to, I mean, you know, we're going to start seeing bloody wings on these things, I guarantee it.
Oh, they've already said it, that we're allowed to put little flicks and tricks to get more air into the airbox because of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's of all the ones they showcased, this was my least favourite.
Yep. I have seen some nice pictures though of mock-ups of the actual Halo being coloured in the helmet colour of the driver, which will aid in the visualisation of whose car it is.
Was that on Mr. Formula One livery?
No, it wasn't. No, it was on WTF1.
Okay.
I think it was. The mock-ups were on there, and they look pretty good. They look pretty good. It's a nice idea. It's a nice idea to go forward, and because the driver's going to be so obscured, it'll be good for the spectators and viewers alike to actually see these guys.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just. I mean, on the one hand, I've been very vocal. I do think something needs to be done for cockpit protection. I'm not married to the whole open cockpit thing. You know, everyone goes, "Oh, you're going to change it? Open cockpit is against Formula One." It's just like, well, you know, you go back, 50 years. Formula One was these bloody cigars running around. You know, it's no seatbelts, leather caps. You know, things evolve, things change. I mean, hell, even you go back. I was watching because they've been a lot of talk about Robert Kubica this last week because he was doing more testing, and obviously you're getting a lot of footage of his 2007 Montreal win. Was it?
He had. When did he win it? I think he crashed in 2007, won it in 2008.
Okay, either way though, you're looking at that the BMW Salvac then at that car, and it's like, my God, it's hideous.
Yeah. Just
the amount of wings and chimneys and everything all over that bloody car. And it's just like, the cars evolve, the cars change. Yeah, and, it's clearly something needs to be done. I mean, I think the worst comment I heard, and I think it was Palmer, who said, this is solving a problem we don't have in Formula One. The only death we've had was Jules Bianchi, and this wouldn't have saved him. Well, I don't know about that. I think that Halo might have gone some way to helping.
It might help, yeah.
Yeah. Also, you go, oh, it's just a knee-jerk reaction to stuff that's happened in lower formulas. Well, I got newsflash for you, mate. If it happens in the lower formulas, it can happen in Formula One.
Right, we've hit the mid-season break now after this race. So
yeah,
Jolyon Palmer is off the table. Fuck it. Ta-da. I'm fed up. I really am fed up.
Yes, let the hate flow through you.
I think we've given him. I know we've been ribbing him all the way through the season, promised we wouldn't, but it's really hard not to. He's such an unlikable character.
He really is.
And I'll just get over it, man. It is going to change. It's all going to be there, and he's got to adapt with it. I know lots of other drivers turned around and said they didn't like it, and well, okay, if you don't like it, go to another formula.
Well, the thing is, though, they didn't like the higher sides of the cars. They didn't like the hams device.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, hell, Rubens Barrichello refused to race with it the first race that was introduced.
Yeah.
They don't. Formula One drivers do not like change, and the reason they do not like change is they're worried they won't adapt for change as quick as their rivals. It is simple as that. So they're worried, oh, this is going to cause an issue, and then someone else will get advantage to it before I do, and that's all it is. But again, I just think the hands device. I don't think. I mean, this will stop a wheel potentially causing issue, but it's not going to help with suspension. It's not going to help with things like the damper spring from Barrichello's Brawn back in 2009. It won't stop that. And yeah, it just seems like it's the least good solution to it. It's the one which no one likes. Therefore, it's the one they all agree that they must go with. Yeah. I mean, the one good thing is once they've got it in for a season and they've done it, I think then there'll be a big push to move towards the Shield. They've got a bit more time to develop something. And I totally understand why the FIA have to do this. Because, they've got this concept. They've shown it will stop certain things. If they don't race it next year and someone does have a serious injury, well, that's lawsuit city right there.
Yeah.
So I understand that. I would have preferred they do all the development work before they announced it was going to come to the car. Not announce it's coming at the 2018 season and then start development.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see what the car designers do around it. I don't want to see flicks and tricks on it. I want to see a sleek car incorporating it. And that might be really good looking.
It might be, yeah. I mean, some of the images I've seen, especially like from the top down, they just look really bad.
Oh, it
is not pretty. Whereas I still think that Ferrari with the Shield, certainly from the front, look fucking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to see what happens. It's here now, so we'll have to see what happens in the off season, and it's going to be interesting. I think everyone's going to be glued because the development of it is going to be fast and furious.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a massive thing to mug around with now.
It's going to be just like the Hans device. It's going to be everyone's going to bitch and moan and complain about it. Blah blah blah. We don't like it, and then 3 races in, you're going to forget it's even there.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, do you remember back to 2009 when they changed the regulations and it was skinny rear wings and wide front wings? It was like, oh, it's not Formula One. It looks weird. And then, like 2 races later, I go, oh, yeah.
And the noise about these new hybrid cars as well. I know there's still an issue about that, but that has gone away, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there were some other developments. I mean, more just discussions. It seems Formula One's moving away from the pretense of trying to be technologically relevant to cars. Mm-hmm. Instead, it's focusing more on entertainment, which I think is the right way to go.
Yep.
Focus on the entertainment side of it first. That's the way to go there. Not strictly Formula One news, but I do think it's worth talking about is Mercedes have quit DTM to move to Formula E.
Yes, that's true.
And Porsche have also quit World Endurance Championship, also to go to Formula E.
And Toyota still won't win Le Mans.
Probably not, no. But that's another story for another time. But what I do think is interesting is look at the manufacturers now in Formula E.
Well, there was, I think it was Ted. He got one of the guys, the head honcho from Ferrari, which once again his name escapes me. But he was saying that they're looking at Formula E, not in the guise of Ferrari or Fiat, but it could be Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Or Maserati.
Oh, yeah, it could be any of those.
Because that's more important to their car.
I can't remember who it was, but someone posted on our Facebook page a picture of a Ferrari Le Mans LMP1 car. Did you see that?
Hang on. I think I did that.
Was it you?
Yeah, I think it was me.
Oh, that was sex.
Yeah, it is. That's why I put it on there. Because it's... I think it would be great for Ferrari to turn up in there. I've had that on my hard drive for a long time.
Yes, it was you, and yes, do that. Do that.
Yeah.
Do that. So yeah. So anyway, yes. Any other news? We had Kubica's lined up for another test.
That's this week, isn't it?
That's this week, yeah. So it was that. And I think that's about it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no. Sauber and Honda have formally abandoned their partnership for next year.
Okay, so Ferrari engines for Sauber.
Well, they haven't confirmed that, but probably.
It will be.
Yeah. Alfa Romeo engines, maybe?
Maybe. What, badged as?
Yes.
Maybe.
Because Ferrari and Mercedes have both said they have no interest in supplying McLaren.
Mm-hmm.
To which McLaren have taken it to read as, oh, you just don't want us to beat you, so that's why.
Yeah, it's interesting. I reckon McLaren might stay with Honda.
I reckon it's pretty much the only game in town now.
Well, they could go Renault.
Well, they could go Renault, but why? Why would you go to Renault? Renault, I don't think is I mean, just on today's results, Honda beat Renault.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. If the thing is, what happens if Honda get their game together? I know we've been saying this for 3 years, but what if they do actually do it?
I believe that when that happens, there is a sound like distant thunder, and there will be 4 horsemen appear in the sky. And the name that says upon him is death, and hell follows with him.
Fair play. Well, you never know. You never know. We have, as a podcast, some news as well. We have an email address.
It is the best email address.
Yeah, it's the best I could come up with in 10 minutes, shall we say?
No, it is straight up best email address ever.
Okay, well, our new email address. So if you ever want to contact the show, not to tell that we're shit, leave that to yourself. If you like what you hear, or if you want to comment on the races or the in between the off season at the moment, if you want to email as the race is finished, or your thoughts in a brief email, not hundreds and hundreds of pages, because that ain't going to fly. I ain't going to read that. Just a little snippet, like a Twitter or something like that. That would be great. You can send that to boxboxbox@grandprixpodcast.com. boxboxbox@grandprixpodcast.com. So
if I had my way, we'd actually rename the entire cast Box.
Ain't going to happen. I've already got the .com on the Grand Prix podcast.
I know, but it's just well done, sir. Golf clap.
Thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, if you want to inbox us, just send it to boxboxbox@grandprixpodcast.com, and we will endeavour to read it out. If we get flooded with emails, which I'm on other podcasts which do get flooded with emails, we might have to sort through them. But at the moment, we have nada, nothing, niet. So, send it. I'll tell you what, as a practice, give us your thoughts on the season so far. There we go. Just a little snippet, season so far, and who you might think will win the championship. So, there we go. Email away, please.
Other bit of news, although technically not Formula One, but I think it's just worth mentioning it. They unveiled and ran the new Indy cars this week as well.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think of them?
I quite like them, actually.
Yeah.
They're quite interesting. You got very low, very clean, sleek upper surface. The rear wing is almost non-existent.
Yep.
But yeah, I quite like them. I like the colour schemes they ran as well. I mean, I know they're just the engine colours, Chevy and Honda.
Yep.
But yeah, the black and blue and the red, white and black. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, it looked smart, didn't they?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Right. So, should we get into this then?
Yes, let's get on to Hungary.
Okay. Well, I missed out on session free practice 2 and 3.
Yes.
But as far as I'm aware, not a lot happened there. But one thing did happen, but I will get onto that very, very soon.
Okay.
Free practice 1, not a lot happened on there as well. But we did have Giovinazzi dropping the car. He was the third driver for Haas this weekend. and he ended up dropping it into a wall, wiping out the left-hand side of that car. So I think that was Magnussen's car. Yes, it was Magnussen's car, so they weren't impressed. But it wasn't Magnussen's gearbox, because that goes in the free practice too. Palmer also destroyed his front wing, going over the curbs on T4. He ended up running wide, running along the rumble strips. It ripped off the wing, and he put a puncture in his car, and that brought out the red flags as well. So the session was cut short for 2 reasons. I think they only missed about a minute at the very end due to Palmer, but Giovinazzi did bring out the red flags for quite some time. Free practice 2, not anything to say from me. I didn't see it. Free practice 3, once again, didn't really see it. I saw little bits of it, but nothing really to speak of.
I saw, was it Verlainen had a crash? Was that P2?
I haven't seen that.
I saw he dropped it into a corner and had a bit of a big crash. I mean, he was fine from it, but that was about it that I saw there.
Okay. And then we
also
had Massa going sick.
I was literally about to say, he started feeling a bit dodgy on the Friday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the Resta was told to be on standby. Then he was told, no, you don't have to be on standby. Then he was told, you do have to be on standby. And then he was told, no, we're fine. Massa's going to do it. And then he's told, actually, no, you're going to race.
But that was after free practice 3, wasn't it? So he didn't have any practice whatsoever.
He had no running in the car prior to quali.
Yeah. So he jumped out of his shirt, jumped into his overalls, and started driving a Formula 1 car for the first time since 2013, I think it was.
I think so, yeah. Force India.
Wow. So, okay, should we get into the qualifying then?
Yes, let us do the qualifying thing.
Now, did you see this?
I watched it on the plane. Haha.
Oh, good man. So I take it you downloaded it and watched it on there then?
Yes.
Good man. Okay, so I think we better go through the people that actually dropped out on the Q1, because it only really got exciting in Q3 for me. There was a couple of sessions. Okay, right. Marcus Ericsson got kicked out first.
Yes.
Resta made 19th. He was slowest for a lot of that session, and I think his first lap was a 123 or 121. And he dropped it down to a 119 and outqualified Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber. So I've got to say, I thought he'd done terribly well. I thought he was really good. He really impressed me on this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought his performance was way above what it should be. And I know Stroll outqualified him, but he's had half a season in that car.
Yeah, Stroll's had a full half season with this car.
And he's only 7/10 off of him.
Yeah. I mean, De Resta's been racing in DTM, but that is night and day, effectively, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, De Resta is the Williams reserve driver. That's why he was called up. So he does a lot of simulator work. But I mean, do you remember back to Luca Badoa?
Yep. Oh, the Ferrari.
Simulator work does not equate to being able to drive a racing car.
Yes. Oh, wow. And then they ended up getting rid of him and putting Fisichella in that race.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was also massively impressed. Just given how quickly he was called up, he just got his head down, got on with it. No drama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see him back on the grid as well.
Good. And the only other note from Q1 was Kevin Magnussen and Sergio Perez posted exactly the same time. And thus, Perez got the time first, so that notes that he actually goes through to Q2. Magnussen having to drop out. Which I'm sure he had a bit of a grumble and a moan about, and I'm going to have a little bit of a bitch and a moan about him later on, I feel.
Oh, I can't possibly imagine why.
Yeah. Right. Q2, we had Romain Grosjean, Sergio Perez, Daniel Kvyat, Esteban Ocon, and Jolyon Palmer going out. Jolyon Palmer made it to 11th, which was, in his standards, not bad at all.
Yeah, way to go. You can choose any tyres you want. You go, girl.
But his teammate ended up getting 7th. So he was nearly, I think he was 8/10 of a second slower than Hulkenberg in Q2. 8/10.
Yeah, Palmer's Q2 time was a 1:18.415 and Hulkenberg's a 1:17.655.
Right.
So yeah. Now basically, if they hadn't run Q3, sorry, and Hulkenberg had to serve his penalty off of the time he had in Q2, he'd have still started ahead of Palmer.
Oh bloody hell! Bloody hell, man. Yeah, there wasn't much to note about that session, though. I don't think.
Well, I mean, you had Hamilton complaining about tyre vibrations. Ended up doing 2 runs. Also, we had both of the McLarens make it through to Q3,
which is nice to see.
It is nice, and again, because this isn't really a power circuit, it does show that McLaren's chassis is pretty on point.
Mm-hmm.
So fair play to them. Also, some justification, I suppose, to what Ron Dennis was always saying back in the day, which was they had one of the best chassis on the grid. It's like, well, so it would seem.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't they do quite well around Monaco? I know Alonso wasn't there from the Monaco Grand Prix, and they got lots and lots of grid penalties with Button, but I think they
had 1,000,001 grid penalties, and then because it's Monaco and you can't pass, Button spent the entire race behind Pascal Wehrlein. Yeah. But yes, let's not get me started on Monaco. Just a note on Q1, I don't think you mentioned, Kvyat had a 3-place penalty for impeding Lance Stroll.
Trying to remember it now. I'm trying to remember it. If anything, it wasn't much. I don't think it was real. I think it was just he was down the road and he got a bit of turbulence from it. Yes, he did. Yeah, coming into the last corner and then Kvyat put his foot down.
Yes, but didn't he get points for this on his license as well? I mean, he's close to.
He got points on his license for this.
Apparently.
Surely not.
I definitely heard he got points on his license this weekend.
Flipping hell.
Yeah, latest penalty takes Kvyat close to a race ban.
Wow. Okay, fair enough. I was unaware of that.
Oh.
Okay. Q3. There was nothing else from Q2, was there?
Not that I can recall now.
Okay. Q3 got interesting because we had cars going 2 by 2. We ended up with Sebastian Vettel on pole position. Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh, just very, very quickly, last thing on Q2.
Yep, go on.
Hamilton did set the fastest time in Q2.
With a lap record.
Yes.
He broke the 1:16 barrier, didn't he?
He did. Which was a bit of a shock because Mercedes just hadn't looked on it. So, yeah.
Yeah, they'd looked sluggish all weekend, I suppose.
Yes.
They had looked sluggish to me, anyway, from what I'd seen. They hadn't looked miles and miles. Like Silverstone, they were miles in front of Ferrari throughout the whole weekend. And this was the total opposite of that. I think people were expecting the Ferrari to be more suited to the Hungarian anyway. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton set the fastest time of Q2, but that wasn't to pay off in the next session in Q3. No. He actually set a slower time in Q3 than that. Sebastian Vettel ended up with pole. Kimi Räikkönen ended up in second place, and that was a last-ditch effort. Sebastian Vettel couldn't improve on his time on his last run. I think he made a mistake on that. Kimi Räikkönen also made a mistake into the chicane up the top of the hill, where he said he lost a couple of tenths. And he seemed really gutted about not getting pole position. He looked like he could have actually got it. And I feel that if he had made that mistake, then maybe he would have got it as well. So, But it was nice to see him pop up. He's normally the 4th fastest out all the 4 drivers in the top 2 teams, and now I thought he'd done bloody well. I thought he'd done really, really well.
Oh yeah.
We also had Bottas out qualifying Hamilton, which was a shock. I wasn't expecting that at all. He ended up with I think he was 2/10 of a second faster than Hamilton?
Hang about. It was Bottas was a 1:16.53. Hamilton was a 1:16.707.
Then we had the Red Bulls coming along. Max Verstappen out-qualifying Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh, yes.
Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah, the Hulk.
Renault getting up into 7th place. So that car can go fast. It can go round corners fast and be handled quite well.
The only team where the other driver hasn't out-qualified one at least once is Renault.
Has Jolyon never out-qualified Hülkenberg?
I do not believe so.
That's not surprising.
No,
No,
not a
gloves
little
are
bit.
off now. Not surprising. As you said earlier on, the McLarens got into Q3 and made it through, and also out-qualified Carlos Sainz in the Toro Rosso. Alonso was 8th, Van Dorn was 9th, and Carlos Sainz was bringing up the rear in 10th position.
Yes, but with Hulkenberg's penalty, they all got shifted up 1.
So he got a penalty, so he started from 8th, I take it.
Hulkenberg started 12th.
12th.
Because he had a gearbox penalty.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Okay, fine. So that's it. That's qualifying over and done with.
That is qualifying. One last little bit of trivia before we start the race proper.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first race since 1982 San Marino Grand Prix without a Brazilian driver.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting. I wonder who... Flipping hell. So we've had Brazilians ever since then.
Mm-hmm. And even then, apparently, that race was boycotted by a lot of the British teams.
Because there was no team.
But basically, yes. So, yeah, Tyrrell, Osella, ATS and Tolman all boycotted the race. So
right.
There you go. But yes, that's that. So I guess on to the race.
Okay, so the race.
Oh, yes.
I am guessing you watched the start, fell asleep, woke up for the end, and went, oh, yeah, okay, that was a race.
Oh, I wish. Oh, how I wish.
How did you not find this exciting? I know it's probably...
It was a massive cock tease. Sorry, no, like I said, it threatened on many occasions to be a good and entertaining race. And after the second half, basically, the last 20 or 30 laps, everything was there to be great. It was building up to this amazing crescendo. And then, oh, wait, I forgot we can't pass here. Wah, wah, wah. Sad trombone, I'm bored.
Well, the can't pass thing, that's been going on for years. So, guys, accept it, and you can pass here. Sorry, you can.
Well, if you would kindly inform Mr. K. Raikkonen, Mr. L. Hamilton, Mr. V. Bottas, and especially Mr. Whatever his first name is, Verstappen.
Max.
There you go. M. Verstappen. Mention it to them, perhaps. And then you're great. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. When they were closing up, it was awesome. You know, and it's like, oh, yes, we've got a race on now. Lewis has been let go, and oh, it's awesome. He's closing down. Oh, we're going to get a proper dogfight. Vettel's in trouble. And no, as soon as they get within like a car's length of the other one, about a second, that's it. They can't do anything. They just sit there complaining, going, oh, my tyres are going off. I've got to fall back, cool down. Okay, I'm charging. Oh, I can't do anything now. Max Verstappen had a sodding 10-second stop-go penalty, or 10-second penalty, right?
Yep.
And despite that, and because Vettel's car was so fucked that, you know, he couldn't go, you know, Raikkonen was clearly faster than him. Lewis was clearly faster than him. But because Vettel was having trouble, and because it's now impossible to pass, it didn't matter. Verstappen drove right up to the back of him again.
Vettel was driving the stolen Sierra, wasn't he?
He was. He was doing. I mean, look. I think I know what you mean about it being exciting, but mate, you've got Stockholm syndrome at this point. You think the promise of excitement is excitement. It was not, my friend. It was not.
Maybe I just like being cock teased. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe so. That's something you and your missus can take up later. I don't think we all need to hear about this. But maybe that's why she's gone to Spain. I don't know. I'm just suggesting. But
I just want to let you know that I did have Lee Harvey watching this race with me as well. He's a friend of the show and friend of other podcasts as well. So he was actually enjoying it. He's a cricket man, so but he sat down. He watched qualifying with me. He watched the race with me, and he was quite excited at points.
You see, this had all the ingredients to be an exciting. Well, the second half. Because I don't care what you say, that first half was dull as dishwater.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
But after the pit stops, it started to get interesting. It's like, okay, fine, they found some pace. Vettel's got a potential problem. They're closing up, sort of thing. It's going to be, it's going to be interesting. Hell, we even thought we got some inter-team drama there with Lewis being allowed to pass and other stuff like that going on. I thought, okay, that's cool. But then nothing happened at all, and I know this is more a problem with the formula as it is, and I know Ross Brawn, bless his soul, is working to fix that going forward. Here's a hint. Put a canopy on a thing, sort out those front wheels, be fine. In fact, just race LMP1 cars, be fine. But my point is, the promise of excitement is not in of itself excitement. The promise of entertainment is not in of itself entertainment. This was, it set it all up beautifully. They were chasing each other down. It was great. But then when it got to the point of actually doing something, it's like kids at a fucking prom. They've built up. They've talked a big game all year long. They're finally in the same room with girls, and they don't know what to start to do. They're on either side of the room, hands in pockets, looking awkwardly at each other. That was it.
Isn't that what proms is all about?
Well, yes, but it's not what Formula One's supposed to be about. Damn it! I want to see some fucking.
Okay, right. Swiftly moving on from that, but this race, I came away from it having massive respect for Mercedes, massive respect for Hamilton, respect for Bottas as well.
Oh, absolutely. I have respect. I mean, Lewis Hamilton jumped at least 4 notches in my estimation today.
Mm-hmm.
Went down another one with a little backhanded compliment later on, but still. Aside from that, I have maximum respect for Mercedes and maximum respect for Lewis and Bottas. Right. They were both real gentlemen today. They showed true racing spirit, and again, I do feel, again, maybe I'm projecting here, but I do think Hamilton was maybe a bit more cooperative just because he was a bit more dejected and was like, oh, I can't get by him anyway, so what's the point? But still, aside from that, I got a huge respect for him letting Bottas retake the place and also doing it in the way he did it. It wasn't like when Schumacher, expects it where, it's a big kind of...
Yeah, I could have won, but here we go. I'll give up the place.
It's an aggressive thing. It was done really, really well.
Yeah, I thought it was a classy move and it was handled well.
Absolutely. I respect the hell out of him. Doesn't mean it was entertaining.
It was right. Okay, it was entertaining because we had the crash at the very beginning, which broke hearts and annoyed people,
and radiators,
and yes, and and spewed lots of liquid all over the track. We got a safety car from it. We also had the clash between the Renault Hulkenberg and Magnussen, which we'll get onto in a minute. But that was. Did you hear the afters on that as well?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
I've seen it, and it is fucking hilarious. It really is. I'll try and find it for you later on.
But
we also had Alonso doing very, very well.
Alonso is always amazing, and again, respect to Herr Alonso, or Senor Alonso, as you will, and hell, him fighting with science. Not a problem with it. Honestly, there were bits in here which were good. I'm not debating that. My point is, though, the race as a whole, the battle for the front between the 4 championship contenders was. It showed all the flaws with Formula One as it is.
It showed
these cars. What's the point in having a car and a driver who can close that sort of a distance, can find out? I mean, when Lewis was released from Bottas, my God, it was like someone stuck a bug up his ass. He was fucking gone. He was down the street.
Yeah, he was off. And it was good to see.
It was amazing. It's like, look at this pace. Second faster than Kimi Räikkönen in the first sector alone. It is on like Donkey Kong. And then, oh, wait, no, he can't do anything now. Dirty air.
That is fundamentally the problem with Formula One at the moment. And that was what these kits this year were trying to achieve and sort out. And they went totally the wrong way. The idiots decided, no, we need more aero. Do you know what? These cars rely on aero. Give them more aero. No, reduce the aero. We've already had that argument, but this highlights that flaw in what we were given. And they really do need 18, maybe 19, have a massive shake-up, drop all the aero, and give us some cars that can actually run real close to each other.
Go have a look at that IndyCar.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there. Go along them lines. But I really like the Inter battle because we had Sebastian Vettel with his wonky donkey driving down the straight, turning left. Okay. We've only ever seen that on IndyCar when they're driving along and it's easier to hold the wheel straight in the corners because that's how it's designed to do. But with this, he clearly had a problem. He was suffering from, what I've heard, it was a hydraulics issue. I think they changed a hydraulics unit on there and maybe they didn't bleed it out correctly. I do not know, but they had a hydraulics issue. It wasn't a power steering system.
No, it was. They were saying something about it was just a rake angle went and
right.
As soon as he was down off the jacks, he realised it was buggered.
Right, but I liked the argument that Kimi Räikkönen was saying. Look, I am faster than him. Let me go. And I was sat there going, I was confused because I want Kimi to win, but I also want Vettel to get the points. But I want Kimi to win, but I want Vettel to get the points. And I'm really confused as to let him go, but don't let him go. But at the same time, let him go. But then don't let him go because he needs the points. And so that was interesting for me. With Bottas and Hamilton, Bottas was clearly holding Hamilton up. There was many times we could actually see the top four. Let's forget Verstappen because he was never in it. The top four in the same straight, which doesn't happen a lot nowadays. Unless the Mercedes are behind the Ferraris, it doesn't happen a lot. And that's when you get an exciting race.
Oh, yeah.
And then Hamilton, because he had radio problems as well. And so he couldn't radio.
Oh, radio problems were, yeah, I mean, and that was great, And, again, you kind of got the snippets occasionally. I think they should do it every race, You should have an option to, flick the radio switch and turn them off for everyone.
Yeah,
awesome fun.
Give them 50% of laps of radio telemetry. Just 50% of the race. That's all you're allowed. It'd be brilliant. And then if they use up their quota in the first half of the race, brilliant. You are stuffed for the rest of the race. And it's all down to hand signals and smoke signals.
Do they still put out pit boards?
I was wondering this. I think they do. But I haven't seen a pit board for a long time.
I don't think they do anymore. Because, again, I was just suddenly thinking when they were saying about this, I go, oh, he's going to have to keep an eye out for a pit board. And I'm like, I can't remember the last time I saw a pit board. Because it used to be you're coming down the main straight and everyone's leaning out with a pit board. But you just don't have it anymore. That's
interesting. I'm going to have a look at the race again and see if that's a thing or not, whether they've done away with that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting when the radio came back, Hamilton was like, I could have gone longer on those tyres. And his Bono saying, I agree with you there. So, I mean, that was interesting. It was great having that extra dimension there. Doesn't change the fact it was still boring.
No, well, okay. You thought it was boring. I didn't think it was boring. I'm correct. There we go.
Oi, Mr. Medcar. What do you think this is? A fucking black dog?
I really, really enjoyed. I liked the excitement that we got from, okay, Bottas, Hamilton is clearly faster than you. He got the radio message. He clearly pulled over to the other side. He almost put his indicators on. You could almost see the indicators blinking.
As were flashing.
Yeah. And Hamilton went and waved by, said thank you very much, and drove off. And then we got the excitement of him flooring it and showing what that car can do and having it hooked up. Yeah.
And then we had 20 laps of him sitting behind Kimi Räikkönen because he couldn't do something fuck all.
But you were getting, he just got into the DRS and he didn't quite have the DRS and he was almost there and it was getting exciting because then Kimi was like, that pressure was Kimi turning around saying, look guys, I've got another guy behind me. I don't like this. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. Let me pass him. I'm going, yes, let him pass, but don't let him pass because he needs the points.
But Kimi, calm down, for you forget. We're in Formula 1 at the Hungarian, where it's impossible to pass. So don't worry about it.
But I really
as evidenced by
that.
the fact the sister car in front of you is fucked and you can't get by it yourself.
Well, he was playing rear gunner, wasn't he?
Well, I don't know. There was a couple of instances where he looked like he turned his guns around.
Well, the situation was the way I read the situation was, if Kimi was to be let past Vettel would have been swallowed up by the Mercedes. So they needed Raikkonen there as a rear gunner to keep him honest and the Mercedes honest. Because I don't think if Vettel had gone into a dogfight with anyone, whether it would be Kimi Raikkonen or Lewis Hamilton or Bottas, I don't think he would have won it. He would have come off second best. I think he would have come off second best. And then he would have had the excuse of the broken car. But with Kimi Raikkonen there, he's got a rear gunner just to keep him steady. And that's the Ferrari game, isn't it? We all know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ferrari don't make any bones about who's a number one and number two driver. But I tell you what, here's the biggest damning indictment of this race. And the problem I was explaining about, yeah?
Mm.
Nico Hülkenberg needed Jolyon Palmer to move over so he could get by.
Yeah. Yeah, he was asked to move
over. Yeah, come back from that.
He?
Come back from that. You hear this? That's my mic drop right there.
Yeah, maybe Jolyon's using that as well. Yeah, okay. His faster teammate couldn't get past he's...
No. This isn't a faster. Nico the Hülkenberg couldn't get past Jolyon the Milk Float Palmer.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Right, okay, right, yeah. Right, that's it, I'm done. Right, okay, see you next week. I get it, but I still found it flipping exciting. I found it interesting.
Mm-hmm. And again, at the time, the chasing down bit, that was entertaining. That was like, yes, come on, Lewis, you know. It certainly woke me up, sort of thing, because I was practically dozing at that point. I was like, yes, come on, we've got a race on now. That's the key word there, a race. Race requires passing, not just chasing. It requires the act of passing and overtaking and stuff like that. And it just didn't give us it. I mean, we had entertainment. I mean, Fernando fighting with Sainz. I wish we'd seen more of that, to be honest, because that seemed like more interesting than anything else. And again, that's why Fernando Alonso is probably the best driver in Formula 1 today, is he managed to do an overtake.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that right there. I mean, that's another mic drop. That's why Fernando Alonso not only is the best, but deserves murals of him in deck chairs painted across all the tracks across the world.
Oh, God, yes. Yes, please.
Yeah. No, Fernando Alonso is bloody amazing.
My
awesome.
missus is in Spain at the moment, and I guarantee you, well, I'm just wondering how quickly I can paint that mural on my bedroom wall before she gets home.
I've got nothing on for the next couple of days, Matt. Come give you a hand. It's fine. But yeah, it's. I get what you're saying, and I can kind of get why you enjoyed it. But I freely admit this just might be a result of, you know, I was on a plane for like 12 hours prior to watching this race. So, you know, I might not have been in the best frame of mind for it.
Yeah.
But the promise of excitement and then not being delivered, not having it delivered, it just annoyed me. And that's the thing. I was wanting this to be a great race. I was wanting a scrap. I wanted a dogfight. I wanted to see we're about to go into the summer break. Lewis, he's been released by Bottas. He's up on the back of those Ferraris. I want to see 2-on-1, massive dust up, you know, sort of thing, and a chance they take each other out and Bottas wins going into to the summer break in the lead. But still, I was like, come on, and then you don't get it, and then hell. Bono goes on the radio to Hamilton saying, you've got 5 more laps to try and pass him. And Lewis is going, there's no point. I can't go by him. Do you want Bottas to go by now? And that's Lewis Hamilton. And I know Lewis gets down on occasion, but he never gets that down. And that was just him saying, what's the point? what is the point?
Yeah.
I can get up to the back of this Ferrari. On paper, I'm faster than this Ferrari, but I can't get by this Ferrari. There's a Ferrari over there, literally crippled. But Kimi Raikkonen, a world champion, who, when he wants to be, is pretty damn handy at overtaking. And let's face it, there's been numerous instances in his career where there's been enough scope for misunderstanding. He's Finnish. Sometimes he has trouble hearing Italian. If he wanted to, he could have taken Vettel. If he really felt threatened, he could have passed Vettel. He could have.
Mm.
After all the stuff that the big boss man's been saying, look, the boss man wanted to walk out of here with a win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Kimi passes Vettel. Vettel then gets passed by Hamilton and Bottas, but because Kimi passed, he wins. I don't think he's going to be too pissed about that. At the end of the day, Kimi Raikkonen couldn't get by a crippled car, a crippled identical car.
Yeah, which was crabbing down.
It was almost as sideways as Daniel Ricciardo was.
Yeah,
and he still couldn't get by it. Look, I like the Hungarian. There's good history here.
I love this track.
I love the track. I know it has a reputation for being difficult to overtake and to pass, and it just seems in recent seasons it's been exacerbated. Maybe we've been spoiled for the last few races. I don't know. Maybe Azerbaijan changed everything, and all of a sudden, that's the new high watermark. But all I'm saying is the promise of excitement does not equate excitement. It could have delivered it. The last 2 laps, all they needed to do is get into a dust-up. Bit of edge of the nose out ahead. That's all I needed. And I'll be like, yes, this was an amazing race. But it didn't happen. Yeah. All it did was highlight how fundamentally broken the aero and overtaking rules are in Formula One. Mm-hmm. That's all it did. It just pissed me off.
I totally agree with you on that. Should we talk about some people that didn't make it to the end of the race?
Or should we talk about the start?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So Daniel Ricciardo didn't make it to the end of the first lap because he got taken out by Max Verstappen.
Yes, he got punted ever so slightly, and he was a bit cross.
Punted? It was like a drunk man on the floor, and he got hoofed by a hooligan. It was disgusting. It was.
I agree with Anthony Davidson. I don't think it was malicious.
No,
but it was certainly amateurish.
I don't think he meant it. It was cold tyres, cold brakes, locking up, going sideways, wasn't it? And it just so happened to be his teammate on the outside who was actually doing overtakes, funny enough.
Well, again, first lap doesn't really count.
Oh, that's right, yeah, because that's not part of the race.
Look, if Ricciardo had been in the race, he might have been one of the only other ones, along with Alonso, who'd been able to overtake.
Yeah. Well, Max Verstappen was a mystery to me in this race because he stayed out the longest on his super softs. He led the race and he punted his teammate out the race in the second corner.
Mm-hmm.
He also got a 10-second stop-go penalty, which he would be up there with the leaders if he hadn't had that. He had the pace. He had the car underneath him.
Oh, the Red Bull had turned around, come alive, whatever you want to say. But yeah, they were effectively running a Spec B, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, Red Bull sorted it out. So yeah.
So that car is looking good, especially on this type of track. So Singapore is maybe their only other chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but we'll see anyway. I'm hoping Red Bull will win at least one more race before the end of the season.
Oh yes.
But yeah, it was quite good to see him pull out. I think he pulled out 10 seconds anyway on his before his pit stops, and so everyone else had already pitted.
Yeah,
we had Vettel on his come in for softs. Kimi Raikkonen came in, and then he was moaning about, I could have gone a couple of more laps, but you shouldn't have pulled me in.
Yeah.
Okay, well then argue it. Stay out. You've got control.
Yeah, do you think Vettel would be sitting there meekly coming into the pits if he didn't think it was the right thing to do?
No, he
wouldn't. I think not.
He would have driven past and gone, are you sure we should be doing this? And that's what Kimi Raikkonen should
he would have pulled out A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
But he came out and he was even closer to Vettel when he did come out the pits.
Yeah.
The same as the two Mercedes. But then Max Verstappen came in for his pit stop. He served his 10-second penalty that he had to have before.
Can I just address something as well? I've seen this posted online.
Mm-hmm.
People will be pointing out that Max Verstappen received the same penalty that Vettel got for safety car incident at Baku. It was not the same penalty. Verstappen had a 10-second penalty, which he could have served during his pit stop as he did, or it would have been added to his time at the end.
Okay.
Vettel had a 10-second stop and go penalty, where you have to enter the pit, stop for 10 seconds, and then leave without any work being done to your car at all.
Yeah, which is...
So that it's a much harsher penalty.
Yeah.
Because then if you need to pit as well, you can't do anything to the car. You have to recircle and then come back around. So in effect, Vettel's penalty was closer to half a minute in real time.
Was a 10-second penalty, wasn't it?
It was a 10-second time penalty.
On a pit stop, or if he had already taken his pit stop, then it would have been added to his end of the race.
Yeah.
Whereas Vettel had to serve that in the race. He had to do the 10-second stop go.
Yep.
There's no adding 30 seconds on at the end of the race. He does it or he gets disqualified.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, yeah, it's totally different. Totally different.
Just wanted to... I'd seen it posted elsewhere. Just wanted to clear that up.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, who was in the wrong with this Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo? Was it just a racing incident, do you think?
It was... I don't want to say Verstappen was in the wrong, but Ricciardo was totally innocent.
Mm-hmm.
It was we forget both how young Verstappen is and the fact this is only his second full season in Formula One. Or was this his third full season? Yeah, his first one was 2015. So this is only his third full season in Formula One, and I think he's been, he's not had a rub of the green this year. He's had some bad luck. He's finally got a car which, is good this week. And he just makes a little mistake and he tries to win the race in the second corner.
Mm-hmm.
That was his mistake. I don't think he deliberately tried to... Obviously, he didn't deliberately try and take out Ricciardo. But I think it would have been smarter for him to ease off, understand you got dirty tyres, you're going to be going sideways in that corner. Clean your tyres for a lap and then have a go.
Yeah.
But there you go.
So
I just think, it was, I'd say, 50% racing incident, 50% hot-headedness.
Yeah. So he did end up taking out Daniel Ricciardo before the end of the first lap. Turn 3,
Yes.
He ended up spinning it, and we nearly had team bone situations where Jolyon Palmer missed him by millimetres and other cars did as well. So I was impressed with the other drivers on that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
When Daniel was walking back and the cars were going round under the safety car, I was going, please let him make a hand gesture to him. Turns out he did. He gave him the bird as he drove past. I would have given him something a bit harsher, maybe. I don't know. But
I thought it was quite interesting on the radio when he goes, "If that was who I think it was."
Yeah, not impressed. But we had other inter-team collisions there as well. The Force Indias got very close.
Oh yes,
I think they bumped uglies as well a little bit. We had, I think it was Hulkenberg. We definitely had I think it was Ericsson locking up his wheels going into the first corner.
There was definitely a Sauber who looked like he was going to go straight to the scene of an accident.
Yeah, he did. He was like a Scud missile.
Yes.
Flying along in 1991. So, God knows how he didn't touch anyone. Paul di Resta was just poodling around the back, just tiptoeing all the way around it, which was good. Good to see. I don't think anyone else... Oh no, Hulkenberg got pushed off on that first corner. I think it was by Grosjean. No, Grosjean got hit by Hulkenberg.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't impressed with that. Then we had Romain Grosjean coming in for... he had a slow puncher. He was told that he had a slow left front puncher. So they pitted him for a pit stop, a swap onto the softs.
Yeah, early pit stop, and made a hash of the old wheel nut, apparently.
They didn't look like they got the wheel nut on. They said it was cross-threaded, and which just fucks it up, really, doesn't it? We saw the loose wheel. He couldn't get it back, and he had to retire. So poor old Grosjean. I think he was moaning about brakes in FP1 at one point as well. So nothing new there.
He was moaning about something or another.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of moaning Grosjean.
Is that his first name now?
Yes, it's M Grosjean.
Yeah, Paul di Resta ended up breaking down, after 60 laps. He had
I will say Kimi was rather unkind to Paul di Resta as well.
I fucking loved that. I thought that was hilarious.
But no, what was even more hilarious was how Anthony Davidson says, "Well, Kimi doesn't have to worry about a career presenting in the future, obviously." It was something along those lines. But it was just like, ooh, shots fired, handbags at dawn.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about media. He's not going to go into media after this, crying out loud.
It would be. Can you imagine him commentating? And they've started the race. What is this? He's crashed. What is this? It's blue flags. He should go by.
Yeah.
Don't fucking talk to me. God.
I'm opening ice cream. Oh. No, I thought that was hilarious. He should stick to the reporting. That was fucking brilliant. Oh yeah, so I'd imagine di Resta will probably have a T-shirt made up of that.
I'd wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but he unfortunately had to retire. I thought he did a sterling job. I thought he did really, really well throughout the whole weekend, and he was. I don't think he was last when he retired. He was off the pace. He was like
he'd after his pit stop he came out at the back, and I just don't think. I think he had a problem developing then at some point, but yeah.
Did you hear when his race engineer called him on the radio and said, "Yeah, we're gonna have to retire the engine," and he went, "Okay then." It was as if, oh, thank crying out loud. Thank goodness for that, because I'm having a terrible time. I'm at the back and it's scaring the shit out of me.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Hulkenberg broke down, brakes. He had brake problems. But should we talk about the incident that he had with Magnussen?
Incident, you say?
Yes.
Well, what could you possibly be referring to, old sport?
Well, the Hulk was actually trying to do a manoeuvre. He was actually trying to pass someone.
Really?
Yeah.
In the pits, obviously, is what you mean.
No. Turn two, round the outside, where many other drivers have done that and succeeded, and also failed.
They gasp.
Yeah. But Magnussen was of the intention that, no, you're not going round there. No, I'm going to take my normal line, which is around the outside of turn 2. Oh, are you on the grass? Oh, I'm really sorry about that. And flicks the V and just goes on his merry way. And I thought this was real dirty driving. This was Nico Rosberg at his height of dirty driving, which I despised. And yeah, Magnussen, no, don't do this. Don't be a dick. He's supposed to give a car's width. I don't care if that's supposed to be just in the braking zone. No, give a car's width.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a dick. The car can't just disappear. He's alongside you. Don't be an arse. You're putting your fellow drivers into a dangerous position. Do you want that on the reverse? No, I don't think you do. So don't do it to them. So sorry, there's my little rant.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's you need to give a car's width. It's not new. This has been the rule since day one. I personally might not be a massive fan of that. I might like the old days of Senna, Prost, PK, but it's a different time. It's a different time. And the rules as they are now are you leave a car's width. Magnussen did not. But what's even worse is how he reacted to it afterwards.
This was genius. I love it.
You tell the story, sir. I insist.
Okay, well then you have Magnussen on Norwegian TV. He's given an interview someone in Norway, and Nico Hulkenberg comes up behind him, taps him on the shoulder, very much like Massa did to Hamilton in Singapore once.
Yes.
Where he tapped him on the shoulder, went, "Wow, yeah, good job." And Hamilton was like, what? Oh, I didn't really do anything. Oh. And he did this, tapped him on the shoulder, said, he offered his hand to shake his hand in a sarcastic way, but, to shake his hand and say, well done. You're the dirtiest driver there. Well done. That's disgusting what you did. And Magnussen turned around and said, "Suck my balls." Or "Suck my balls, honey." So, Mr. Garrison. And, on national TV. And it threw Magnussen as well, because then he was sat there going, right, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing an interview. Okay. Oh, balls, never mind. I've just screwed it. So, Cartman, as I'm now going to call him, because he wants to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison. I think that shows what an arse he is. Whether Hulkenberg should have done that or not, I think he's well within his rights to do that. We want some entertainment.
There was something in the first corner with Grosjean and Hulkenberg, apparently, which Magnussen saw or whatever, apparently they were. But the Haas boys were all, we don't like Hulkenberg. Yeah. He's mean.
Well, they bumped uglies, didn't they, in the first corner?
Yes.
And Grosjean came off worse.
Yes. And they were saying, oh, well, it's going to be a dirty race or something like that, But kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it ended up like that. I suspect someone's going to be called in front of a principal and told to apologise, or he's going to be getting points on his licence.
Well, I think the whole thing is done and dusted. Maybe with the actual interview, they might get a slap wrist for that.
But... No, they won't. It won't be for the incident. The incident's done and dusted.
Yeah.
He got a 5-second time penalty added to his time. That's fine. It's the telling him to suck my balls. That is what's going to.
Oh, please! This needs to be on video. He needs to go out in front of the judge, whoever it is. Let's say he's in front of Ross Bourne, and he goes, right, okay, he's got Nico Hulkenberg in front of him, and he's got Magnussen in front of him. He goes, right, so guys, what happened? And Hulkenberg goes, he told me to suck my balls. Okay, Magnussen, did you actually tell him to suck his balls? Yes, I did. I told him to suck my balls. Right, you can't do that. But he told me to suck my balls. Oh, I just need that. I need it videoed. It needs to be on TV or YouTube or on the dark web somewhere. Jeez. What do you think will happen from this then?
I suspect he'll get told to apologise, say heat of a moment or something like that. He'll have his wrist slapped. Because he was in the wrong, as evidenced not only by the fact he was clearly in the wrong, he got a penalty for it as well. And it's again, we don't want to take away the character of the drivers. Hell, quite frankly, we love a bit of controversy. Tons of fun.
Oh, love it. Yeah, absolutely.
Bring back James Hunt and all that. Yeah, bring back that. But yes, someone's going to get called to Charlie Whiting's office. It's going to be sat outside, sort of thing, waiting to see him.
Yeah, hopefully in a corridor.
Yes,
facing the wall.
Yeah, he'll have to go and stand in the corner with a big cone with a D on the top of it.
No, it doesn't stand for driver, Kevin.
No. So yeah. Oh well, that's the Magnussen Hulkenberg thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, then Hulkenberg had to retire anyway. So
yeah, he had brake issues.
Yes.
Alonso ended up putting the fastest lap of the race in on the last lap of the race.
Yep. And again, he had a very good fight with Carlos Sainz. When they went into the pits together and then came out, I mean, that was nip and tuck. I thought, unsafe release. No, they've just got him out in front. And then you had those couple of corners where they were fighting. Again, Alonso got pushed a little bit wide, just ran off at the onto the runoff area, got it back under control. I wish we'd have seen more of that fight.
Yeah.
But
That
You
was
know, again,
good. That was really good.
I mean, I'll tell you what, the three drivers who I would say are probably the best for overtaking and entertainment when you're watching them are Alonso, Hulkenberg, and Ricciardo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Ricciardo was taking out in the first corner, in the first lap. Hulkenberg was taking out, trying to do some overtaking, and then Alonso was the only one we had left. So yeah.
But this bodes well for Sainz in the future because he's getting a lot of experience from Alonso from battling from him.
Oh yeah.
This is all going in the memory bank, and this is all going to come back dividends later. It really is. So maybe Red Bull need to step up and get this guy because he's getting a lot of training from Alonso on how to dogfight.
Oh yeah.
Which I love. I think it's absolutely brilliant. He's probably sat there going, "Oh, he beat me again. He beat me again. How am I going to beat him again?" And that he just to be the best, you have to fight the best and improve yourself. And you're not going to get a better teacher than Alonso fighting you on track. It's not going to happen anywhere else.
Oh, it's you want to talk about the School of Hard Knocks? There you go.
Yeah, yeah. So, shall we run down the top 10 as to how they finished?
I'm just thinking, is there anything else worthy of note? Don't think so.
Verstappen was closing in on Bottas at some point as well.
Yes.
Should we talk about the last corner then?
Well, let's talk about before that. Let's talk about Mercedes. We've already mentioned there was a radio issue where it was they could speak to Lewis, but they couldn't hear back from Lewis, which, frankly, I think is probably the best way to have it. But that's besides the point. Lewis on the second set of tyres kind of came alive, which was great. Got up on the back of Bottas, but despite once being released over a second quicker in the first sector, couldn't do anything behind him. Gee, wonder why. But when he was released, he promised that let me have a shot at Kimi. If I can't get by him, I'll give the place back. He disappeared up the road. At one point, I think he was 5 or 6 seconds ahead of Bottas.
Yep.
As we've already mentioned, Lewis couldn't get past Kimi. But all this time, Verstappen is closing on Bottas. It got down to about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh God, what's going to happen? What are you going to do?" Because you don't want to give Verstappen a place. You want to do just a clean swap. But fair play to Lewis. He played it brilliantly. Did it on the last corner. He managed to slow down enough to let Bottas catch up to him. Let Bottas through. Just out of the last corner, nailed it, finished just ahead of Verstappen. And again, I doff my cap to Lewis for that. That was really well done. I take some points away from him because then he later on says, "Well, I hope that those points aren't going to cost me the championship," which to me sounded like a little bit of a backhanded comment. But there you go.
I didn't hear him make that comment, so that's news to me for that. It doesn't. I feel that he has to say that just to clarify that he's done the good thing. He's done what everything thinks that he should have done. But guys, if it costs me the championship, then that's where it happened. I was being a good guy. He's trying to remind us.
Yeah, it's like if you do the good thing just because you expect something in return, you're not doing the good thing for the right reason.
Yeah,
if you know what I'm saying. And it's like. I had huge respect for you. Just seeing the place was, nice that, and then you just turn around and say, "Well, I hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the arse." It's just like, oh, don't be a dick.
Yeah,
just be magnanimous.
he didn't need to make that comment.
He didn't. He really didn't. I'm sure someone asked him the question which led to that comment.
Yes,
always that way, but it was still just.
Yes, the media likes to tickle balls like that, send you down a dark alley and surprise you with a question. And
it was just listening. It was listening to the interview with Danny Ricciardo after he was out. They're literally saying, "So, did Verstappen do that on purpose? Did he ruin your race? Do you hate him now?"
Will you be sending him Christmas cards? Well, that wasn't on my agenda. I wasn't actually thinking about that. But no, I won't be sending him Christmas cards. Thank you very much. Soundbite. Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. So, There you go. But
I thought
yeah,
the way that he handled that last corner, though, I was worried because Verstappen was getting closer and closer to Bottas. I thought they'd missed their window, and I was expecting the phone call to come to Lewis and Bottas. Look, if Verstappen's too close, it's too late. You're going to have to grin and bear it, and maybe we'll reverse it again at a later date. That's what I was expecting.
I was expecting Lewis to then say, well, if he wants to get place back, he's got to catch me.
Yeah.
I was literally expecting that. I was expecting him to say, okay, fine. Well, when Bottas gets up to me, I'll let him through.
Because he did drop back 10 seconds, didn't he, to find him?
7 seconds.
Right.
But yeah, and that's my point. It's just like, fair play, respect, good on you. So, but again, if Bottas hadn't let Lewis through, that is literally where he would have been. 7 seconds. I mean, again.
Yeah, I feel your pain. I do feel your pain.
Not yet. You don't. Not yet. You don't. You will. You will. I've got a sharp stick here.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to run down the top 10 then, if you don't mind.
Of course.
So we have our winner, Sebastian Vettel for Ferrari. He wins in a time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, 46 seconds, and I don't really care about the other seconds. Kimi Räikkönen was second, less than a second behind him. Valtteri Bottas ended up on the podium after Lewis Hamilton gave him the position. He ended up about 12 seconds behind him, so same as Lewis, and Max Verstappen was fifth. Fifth. Alonso was a awesome sixth with the fastest lap on the very last lap. He also spun his wheels up once he'd crossed the line as well, so he was well and truly chuffed with that. Carlos Sainz, 7th. And then we have the two Force Indias once again coming heel to toe. We have Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon in 8th and 9th, and Stoffel van Dorn in 10th position. So McLaren get double points this time.
They've now passed Sauber, I believe, in the points as well.
They are now not the worst team in Formula One. There we go.
Hey!
There we go. Daniel Kvyat just missed out on the points, and Jolyon Palmer was 12th. Who gives a shit? So there we go. Do you want to run down the driver's standings for us? Because Sebastian Vettel has made gains on Lewis Hamilton on this.
I'll tell you what. I will do the full standings since we're at the mid-season break.
Oh yeah, good on you.
Good on you. So. Let's see. Well, actually, I suppose we technically start at 22nd with Paul di Resta with 0 points. 21 with Antonio Giovinazzi with 0 points. 20 with Marcus Ericsson with, say it with me now, 0 points. And then 19, your hero and mine, the man they call the milk float, Jolyon Palmer with
0 points.
0 points. Then 18th, we have Stoffel van Dorn with 1 point. 17th, Danny Kvyat with 4 points. 16th, Pascal Wehrlein with 5. 15 with 10 points, Fernando Alonso, who I really feel deserves at least 10 times that many points just on the sheer entertainment. There needs to be like a most entertaining driver award, which gives like 26 points. He'd be walking away with his championship. 14th is Kevin Suck My Balls Magnussen with 11. 13 is Roman Grosjean with 18. 12th, Lance Stroll also with 18. 11th, Felipe Massa with 23. 10th, Nico Hülkenberg with 26. 9th, Carlos Sainz with 35. 8th, Esteban Ocon with 45. 7th, Sergio Perez with 56. 6th, Max Verstappen with 67. And then there's a bit of a jump to 5th with Kimi Räikkönen and 116. 4th, Danny Ricciardo with 117. 3rd, Vitaly Bottas with 169. 2nd with 188, Lewis Hamilton. And away with the fairies at 202 points is Sebastian, I've got a wonky steering wheel, Vettel.
Nice one. Can you do the constructors? Because I'm trying to find them as well.
Yes, I can do that as well. Oh, I forgot to mention Button should be on there somewhere too, but he also had 0 points. Anyway, constructors in 10th position with 5 points is Sauber. In 9th place with 11 points is McLaren. 8th is Renault with 26. 7th is Haas with 29. 6th is Toro Rosso with 39. 5th is Williams with 41. Evan is a bit of a jump. To 4th with Force India with 101 points. 3rd is Red Bull with 184. 2nd is Ferrari with 318. And away with the fairies, in the lead is Mercedes with 357.
Nice one. So that's it. We're over halfway through the season. We're at our summer break, so that is halfway through the season technically anyway. So
yes.
Right. How do you see it planning out from here on?
Ooh, interesting. It's the mid-season cliffhanger, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let us cast our minds back, if we can, to 2016 at the Hungarian Grand Prix. I think Nico Rosberg was ahead by 1 point going into the summer break.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just came off of a race last time where Lewis beat Nico. So he went into the summer break, although he was down on points, had that kind of, I beat him, that kind of oomph.
Yeah, he had the momentum, didn't he?
He had the momentum. I think going forward, I think Mercedes are probably going to tie up the constructors because I think Lewis and Bottas are a stronger pairing than Vettel and Raikkonen.
Yeah.
I think Vettel is. I think Kimi is still very inconsistent.
Yeah.
I also think he's a little bit browbeaten, perhaps.
If he'd won at Monaco, if he'd won here, then he would have been a different man.
Absolutely. I think if he hadn't been under the pressure from the boss, where boss publicly calling him out and everything. I think if he felt he had the support of a team, he could have taken the win here. But as it were, he's browbeaten. He's just like, no, I'll sit in second. But then again, I don't think Kimi really cares. He's just circulating because why not? Ice creams are good, apparently. So that's that. I think this was potentially a turning point for Honda. If they can capitalize on this and go forward and we don't have any more big issues and they can keep bringing these gains, honestly, I think it's not inconceivable that McLaren could. I think they could. I would say 6 is possible for them.
Really?
I think they're improving faster than everyone in front of them.
Yeah.
Except, I think they're going to do maybe even 5th because just from purely on Alonso, basically. I mean, Van Dorn's okay, but still. I think Williams has Massa, who's solid, assuming he's going to be fit for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think Stroll's quite there yet. So I don't think he's going to bring in a lot of good points. I think Force India, as long as we don't trip over each other, they're going to stay 4th.
They've got a nailed on 4th as far as I'm concerned.
I think they've got a nailed on 4th. I think Haas, between Grosjean's complaining about his brakes and Magnussen either being nowhere or telling people to suck his balls, I just don't see them improving quickly enough. Renault and McLaren are very similar in that they both got one really, really good, strong driver.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just give McLaren a slight edge in that McLaren have got a reasonable second driver. So,
okay, yeah. Well, he's better than the other second driver.
Exactly, yeah. And he wasn't the third choice for that car this time around.
No, that's right.
So yeah, I tell you what, if we got to Abu Dhabi and McLaren were 5th, I would be both. I'd be amazed, but I wouldn't be surprised. If that makes sense.
I can't see them overtaking Williams.
It depends. The last 3 races, Williams has gone backwards, I would have said.
Yeah, they've gone off the boil, definitely.
They have gone off the boil. It really depends if they can identify what's caused it and turn that around. But I think 5th or 6th potentially is on the card for McLaren. Let's wait and see. I mean, we're talking about Honda, which means they could turn up next race with rubber chickens in the back of the cars because they thought that was a good idea. The dyno said it would work. So, nothing is given. Ferrari, I think, are going to just go all out for backing Vettel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested how Mercedes is going to play out between. It's all lovey-dovey at the minute. I'm almost wondering if a second Bottas has a contract signed, the killer instinct comes out a little bit. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Well, that could go both ways. If he gets the contract, which I think he's deserved of, because he's already won 2 races. He is pretty solid. I think I'm very impressed with his attitude. He can blow a bit cold every now and again. Like today, he was just not there. But then again, Rosberg would have days like that as well.
Oh, absolutely.
But the team is geared around Hamilton, isn't it?
Yes.
And so I think Bottas will get the contract.
Mm-hmm.
That could either relight his fire, as Take That once said, or it could settle him down as if, well, I haven't got to do anything for the rest of the season. I'm quite happy in 3rd here. I can just poodle along, keep getting the points. Daniel Ricciardo's not worrying me. Kimi Räikkönen's not worrying me. And there we go. Not really go for it. But it could work both ways.
We will see, I think. I think Red Bull are going to continue getting stronger. But I think Red Bull, of all the teams at the minute, with the exception of Force India, they have the greatest potential to implode.
Yeah.
Through the driver rivalry. I think that's where that could happen. I think Force India is the other one where, at the minute they manage to bring it home to nose to tail. That's fine. Usually with a little tripping over, but we'll see. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I don't think we're going to see any driver changes this year till the end of it. I don't think we're going to swap out Palmer with Grosjean this year. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what, I will. I'd say eat my hat, but I don't have a hat. I would eat a Bounty, and let me assure you, if there's one thing I hate more than anything on this world, it's Bounty chocolate bars. I will eat a Bounty if Jolyon Palmer is in a Renault next year.
Yeah, I can't. Do you know what? I can't see any driver changes just yet.
No, not yet.
It's good that Kvyat kept his nose clean this race. Otherwise, that would have been it for him. I can't see Jolyon on this present stage being in Formula One in 2018. Imagine your dream job and you end up being shit at it. That's what it is. He's got his dream job, and it turns out everyone else is fucking better than him. And that's all it is. I think Kvyat's better than him. I think Kvyat would be a good signing for Renault. But there we go. I don't see Kvyat being in Formula One next year. I don't see Jolyon being in Formula One next year.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I reckon...
The worst thing with that is, though, if he isn't, you'd probably end up being on bloody Sky.
On the Skypad. Oh no. God.
No.
Bring back Paul di Resta, all is forgiven.
Yes.
Do you know, I'm not a massive fan of Paul di Resta, but I have to doff my cap to him. He was absolutely brilliant this weekend. And plus it gave us Anthony Davidson in the commentator's box as well. Which,
my dream team.
Yeah,
my dream team was back together.
Which was brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely.
See, I told you that they were the best. They are the best.
Yeah.
Incidentally, just so I know we haven't mentioned it, but Brundle's still recovering from his illness last time out. Mm-hmm. But he should be back for Spa in August.
Yes, end of August, yeah.
End of August.
Good. Right, okay. Should we go into our predictions that we had?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I have nil point.
Well, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I don't.
You predicted for pole position, Bottas. So, nil point.
Nil point.
I predicted for pole position, Hamilton. So, nil point. For the race, you predicted Bottas, which was nil point. For the race, I predicted Vettel. So, what's that? A point. Thank you very much.
That's a wonky point for you. non-ability to pass bastard.
I would take a point whether it be wonky or not. I don't care. In the third column, because remember we have a third and fourth column in this one, right?
Oh, yes.
We have we wanted to know the combined laps between Alonso and Palmer.
Oh, yes.
And fuck my boots, you've won this one. Because I bet 100 laps between them. Now, bearing in mind, there's 140 laps up for grabs.
Yes.
I went for 100 laps. You went for 125 laps. God damn it, if he's only going to finish one race, he finishes this one. You get nearest the pin, you get a point. Well done.
I will take that one. Thank you, sir.
Bloody hell. So yeah, you got 125 out of 139. Well done. We also have a fourth column. And it was who will be leading the championship going into the summer break. You went for Bottas, nil point. I went for Hamilton, nil point. So
it does solve the pain somewhat, knowing that you also have no points.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's damage control. That's what it is.
Well, I went for Hamilton. I was just covering my bases there. If Vettel, I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, but if I'd gone for Vettel, I'd have had 2 points. Nuts. There we go.
Actually, it comes to think of it, it makes no sense because you were either going to get a point one way or the other. Because if Vettel won, he would have been in the league going into the championship.
Yep. I think I was just covering all bases.
Well played, sir. Well played.
So we both leave this race with 1 point each. In our standings, our mid-season standings, hang on, where are we? Austrian, I haven't written it all down. Excellent. I think, hang on, let me do this on the fly. Man looks up stuff on the internet, etc. I think you ended up with 2 points last race. No, I'll do this later. I think you're winning anyway. You've got like 12 points. I've got 8 points. So,
well, that's the important thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, after the mid-season break, we have the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yay, Spa! Woo!
Yeah, exactly. One of the greatest tracks ever. One of my favourites ever as well. So,
the Cathedral of Speed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Monza, but still.
Do we have any stats on this race from last season?
Of course we do, sir.
Good
Pole
man.
position last time out was Nico Rosberg.
Mm-hmm.
Fastest lap was Lewis Hamilton. And the podium was Rosberg from Ricciardo from Hamilton. In terms of multiple winners and so on and so forth. The most is Michael Schumacher with 6. Then Ayrton Senna with 5. And then Jim Clark and Kimi Räikkönen with 4 apiece.
Mm.
And then Juan Manuel Fangio and Damon Hill with 3 each. And then Vettel and Hamilton and Prost, Lauda, Fittipaldi and Ascari all have 2 each.
Good stuff.
Mm.
Okay, so bears the question. Who do you think will have pole position on Spa?
Ooh, who's going for pole in Spa? I'm going to go with a Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Lewis, I think.
You're going with Hamilton, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I will go with Bottas. I think it's going to be a Mercedes track, definitely. So, what about the race? Who do you think will win the race, though?
I'm going to be boring. I will go with Hamilton again.
You're going with Hamilton, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going with Räikkönen.
You reckon he's going to go for 3, eh?
Yeah, I'm going with Räikkönen. Yeah. I have to do it. I have to do it.
You do, yes. It is actually mandated by the court.
Yeah. If I don't do it, then I'll be stupid. It happened a couple of years ago. I think 2000. Oh, when did Ferrari win their only race of the season? It happened to be, I think it was 2008. Was it 2006? No, hang on. 7. I think it might have been 2008 or 9. I think it might be 9 now, actually. Anyway, yeah, he won the only race of Ferrari season there.
Mm-hmm.
So, third column. What should we have for third column? I'm thinking either something to do with Renault, not Jelly and Palmer, or Haas.
I was actually going to say, Max Verstappen is technically Belgian, not Dutch.
Okay.
So maybe we do. Where does he finish?
Oh, okay. Go on, I'll let you choose.
DNF.
You're going for a DNF, yeah?
Yeah, I reckon you'll have a DNF.
DNS or DNF?
DNF.
DNF. Okay. I'm going to go for third.
Okay.
Nearest a pin? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go for third. I think he's due a podium.
He's due a clip round the year if you talk to Danny Ricciardo.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, he'd probably have his dad step in. At some point anyway, so... Right,
yes.
So that is it. That's all us cleaned up for the first half of the season then.
It is. Off in your holidays now, are you? You got your little handkerchief on your head, keep the sun off it.
On my head, got my deck chair ready, bit like Mr. Alonso, which we forgot to mention.
We did forget to mention.
Parc Ferme, massive picture of him painted on a sunny beach, wasn't it?
In a deck chair.
And the goddamn superstar that is Fernando Alonso found a deck chair somewhere and sat on that on his picture. What an absolute diamond.
Can you imagine? Let's just take a moment, right? 10 years ago, 2007, Fernando Alonso. I wanted to smack him, basically. Yep. I wanted to punch him square across his clean-shaven jaw. I've never seen such a turnaround in a driver.
No,
ever.
No.
I mean, he is straight up probably my favourite driver in Formula One right now. It's just, I love watching him race. I love listening to him in interviews. I love him in on the radio. I love this, again, in a deck chair. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what medication you're on, mate. Keep it up. Bloody awesome.
I can't imagine Lewis doing this. I can't imagine Vettel doing this. I can't imagine Kimi Räikkönen doing this or Bottas doing this. I can. Ricciardo, maybe.
I can definitely see Ricciardo doing it, but for some reason, it wouldn't be as good.
No, but I think that's because 5 years ago, when we had angry Alonso in the Renault and in the McLaren and in the frustrated Ferrari, I couldn't imagine him doing this. He's taking the piss out of himself, but it's not too much. He's lighting up memes across the world. He steps out of a door and it's just a meme. It's wonderful. And we haven't had a driver like this forever.
I desperately hope he's in with a shot of a championship next year. Because the man deserves another shot. He does.
It'll be such a well-rewarded one as well, and it'll be a full circle thing. He can disappear off into the sunset, 3 times world champion. Thank you very much for all the wonderful memories.
Absolutely, but yeah, I've never seen a turnaround like it. Yeah. And yeah, fair play to you, mate. I mean, it was awesome, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to the next race just to see what Alonso gets up to.
Yeah, that's right. And if you think
we need more Alonsos in Formula One, is what we need.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. If you do think we're gushing too much about Alonso, then send an email to boxboxbox@grandprixpodcast.com. Yeah,
nice plug. That was good. That was...
You're welcome. So that is it. How do you think? Are you enjoying this season so far?
On the whole, yes.
Yeah.
I much prefer these cars from what we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
They look better. On the whole, they perform better. They race better. The race in Baku was one of the best races ever, as far as I'm concerned.
Surprisingly so.
And maybe that was what was great. It was a surprisingly good race. The championship is between 3 drivers in 2 teams, which is great. And a 3rd team is now nipping at the heels, which is also awesome. We're at the midpoint and there is no clear leader. There's no, he's walking away with it. That's what's great. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And the midfield battle is amazing as well. Like we were just saying earlier, there's every possibility McLaren can go from 9th to 5th in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
If they can get their act together. So yeah, there's there's a lot of good potential here.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm enjoying it much more than what I thought I would be before Australia. It really has surprised me, and I'm just grateful for it. Really, I'm enjoying all the drivers. I'm enjoying their mood swings. I'm enjoying the surprises that I'm getting from certain drivers as well. I like all the banter that we're getting, and it's been thoroughly enjoyable so far. We've had one or two dud races, a bit dull. We've had one or two really good races, and one or two that me and you both agree and disagree on as well.
Oh, yes.
Which is always good. I think if we agreed on everything, it'll be a bit dull. If we disagreed on everything, once again, a little bit dull. So we need that change, shall we say. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the title fight and taking it down to the wire. I'm hoping it goes down to the wire.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I think this will go down to the last race.
Good. Right. Well, that's it for this race. That's it for this first half of the season. We will be back after the Belgian Grand Prix at the end of August. So we're going to have a couple of weeks off.
That's the 27th of August.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll be back on probably the Monday after that.
Yes. Do keep an eye on, I was going to say, keep an eye on the Facebook group and the Facebook page, because we will post updates and shenanigans on there.
Yeah, that's right. If we get bored, we might do a mid-season. We might. I'm not guaranteeing it just yet, but if we get flooded with emails and we need to get rid of them, then yeah, we might do that. We'll see how we go. Depends on how we're going on the Band of Brothers podcasts. Which leads us to, would you like to plug anything?
Well, yes. You can listen to me on the Band of Brothers podcast with your good self. And you used to be able to listen to me on Space Dock Jury as well, but it would seem I've been replaced by the wonderful Elton McManus.
Yep.
And Home Phone 1. It's very, very good. Well done, sir.
You are welcome. Anything else, or is that it?
That's about it. I've got some cosplay stuff I'm doing coming up, but unless you go to conventions, that's not going to mean anything to any of you. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Please catch me on the Black Dog podcast, which is blackdogpodcast.com. We talk about films, and the one coming out very, very soon. We're recording it live on Mixlr. I think it's going to be on Mixlr anyway. We're going to be doing the Vanilla Ice Classic, Cool as Ice, which is a charity thing. I can't remember all the legal stuff, so yeah, that's going to be out next. You can also catch me on Shonky Lab. I might get a couple of episodes out now because we got the mid-season break, and the Band of Brothers podcast as well. And please do not forget to visit us on the Facebook group and page under Grand Prix Podcast. We also have Twitter, which is Grand Prix Pod. And the email, once again, for the last time, is boxboxbox@grandprixpodcast.com. So please send your emails there. Pop along to iTunes. We need all the reviews we can get because we are getting a good, substantial amount of listeners, but we want more. We would like to be spread across the whole world. So
we need to get more listeners, so then we can force Formula One to listen to us and change things on our whims.
Exactly.
We are fickle masters.
But
I will actually rule that Jolyon Palmer must compete in a milk float.
Oh, just to hear the empty bottles rattling behind him.
Absolutely.
That's all I want. That's all.
Or maybe he has to wear the milk float milk delivery man costume.
That's his fire suit.
Yeah.
Express
complete with the
dairies.
apron and the Express Dairy hat. Yeah.
Oh, and the little money bag at the front as well.
See, it's right in itself.
It is, yeah.
Are you listening to us, Ross? You know you need this. It's all about the entertainment.
Oh, brilliant. And every 2 minutes he has to stop the float, get out, drop some milk off.
Drop it to the marshals. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Every station has to be filled up with... It's like Paperboy, but with milk floats. Genius. Oh, crying out loud. Jolyon, if you're listening, please email at boxboxbox@gmail at grandprixpodcast.com. So there we go. Right, that's it. I'm done. I'm dusted. We're on to the next half of the season. So thank you very much, Andy, for this half of the season.
You're quite welcome, sir.
Good. And we'll catch all these lovely listeners again at some other time. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.
That move to 6 might be coming on the Renault. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that, especially if Ultraverner's got a problem, because 2.8 has become 1.9 in the space of a lap. So that's going to happen, isn't it?